Oh my god. I get offset on. I told him the other day, man, we should sell that porn. Cardi B, I'm back, bitches. I don't want to hear I'm acting different. Same lips that be talking about me, it's the same lips that be ass kissing. These hoes ain't what they say they are, they pussy stink, they catfishing. Why would I hop in some beef? When I can just hop in a Porsche, you heard. That's how it was. So tell me, have you seen
Hello.
wrap my weave up? I'm the trap Selena. Got my gasoline. Scott.
Yeah, that's you, bitch.
Are
I
you?
like a whole golden baked potato on the face, but that's all right.
Do
That's
you
okay.
wanna share your stream out?
Oh yeah, let me do that real quick. Let me see. How do I do that?
Oh, my homeboy Eric Dillard is on live
I'm
right
trying to
now.
see. How do you? Because it's not letting me share it.
Do you see it on your page?
If I go on my page, it would X me out of the live. So.
I think it's already on your page because I tagged you in
Oh
it.
yeah, because I had somebody that said he wanted to see it. So.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to greet the people?
What's going on, everybody? It's Duke Brandon, aka B Love, aka Bubs. Yeah. So I know I gotta give them all that shit. So. Mm-hmm. So who gonna do this? Am I gonna start off? You gonna start off? What's going on?
I guess I can start off. Hey,
Okay.
Talina English, how you doing, babe?
Hey everybody, I can't see in the comment section.
Okay. Everybody being nosy right now. Ain't nobody talking except for Talina, the
Oh,
best
okay.
of them all.
Hey Toyna.
So, welcome guys to tonight's live. This is less about the Facebook Live audience and more about the YouTube Live, like the YouTube audience, because I'm going to upload this to my channel. So you guys really don't have to participate if y'all don't want to. That's completely up
Right.
to you. But tonight's topic is about the trans community versus the LGBT community. As some of you guys may know who follow the Queen's Court, there's been lots of
The
drama.
trans. Wait. The trans versus the LGBT. You mean LGBT and trans versus women?
I don't even have to say and trans because they part of the L, the
Okay,
G,
I know, but you said LGBT versus trans. Go
the
ahead. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
mean, do I need to restart my live? Because now you done
No.
fucked up my
No.
whole intro. Now my
No.
people gonna see all of this because I can't edit this shit in
This is all
iMovie.
real and this is all raw. This is technical difficulty. Don't be like Kai and walk off. Come on.
We don't do raw nothing over here, okay? Only raw is for married folk. So this is about the LGBT community versus the women's community.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. He said it right this time. Yeah.
So for those of you who are following the Queen's Court, you guys know that there's been a lot of controversy between Kaya, Madison, and now this soul by the name of AT Alien. Very proper name. I find it ironic.
Very proper. Uh-huh.
And there's been a lot of mud slinging from Kaya and this
Mm-hmm.
blogger's way towards Maddie, them calling her Mandy and calling her a man and insulting her gender identity, her gender expression. Obviously, Kaya is in much controversy because of the punks, the sissy, all of this. So now in the audience, there's a big conversation going on between women feeling some sort of kind of way toward trans women, and they're using Madison as kind of, I guess, they're the representative for trans women because Maddie finally took to responding back to this blogger, and, called her fishy and different things of that sort, and now extremists and radical individuals are on this whole, trans women can't stand biological women, or they're jealous, or they're hateful, or they hate real women,
Mm-hmm.
and so all of this. So now people are feeling like they got to choose a side. They got to choose between the women's community or the LGBT community, and we're just going to have a conversation and try to get to the bottom of this, put some perspective to this, and see what's going on. So, what is your take, Bubs,
Okay.
on is there tension between women in the gay community?
Okay. Before I jump into that, I just want to say this. This video, this conversation really is not really intended towards those who are women who are strong within who they are. They're strong in their womanhood, their queendomness. They're not intimidated by anybody else who's trying to maybe um, to copy them or to mimic them in any sort of way. This is just for this conversation is for women like Kaya, like Michelle Brown, like Kimber and other individuals who kind of have like this little beef going on with the community. Now, do I feel like there's tension? Of course I do. I feel like there's tension, but I feel like it's kind of low key slick tension. I feel like everything is good when um uh just I feel like when it comes down to the LGBT people doing things as far as getting their hair laid, beating their face, getting their fashion together, being a good girlfriend, and we kikiing and all that type of stuff, everything is good. But I think once it starts to go into the realm of attraction and maybe the guy that they like, come to find out might be into their gay best friend or their trans homegirl, then it's like all of a sudden they feel threatened and have to say, oh, well, that's a man, right? Or, that's not a real woman, or, oh, so you with that gay stuff, whatever. So I think when that issue comes about, and the reason why I said it is because from my own personal experiences, I remember my freshman year in college, it was two girls, I'm not gonna say the name, who had a crush on me, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of inquiring on if I was single or not. And I had the option to whether just lie to them and tell them, like, I ain't looking for nothing or whatever, or just be truthful and honest and tell them that, I'm not into women. Before I told them what my tea was, everything was good, it was cool. They was flirting and stuff like that. They was trying to make passes. I'm kind of just, just laughing off or whatever. But then once I told them my tea, everything changed. It went from the whole friendship thing to, okay, now you want to start throwing Bible scriptures at me. And then you start asking questions like, oh, well, don't you think the things that you do with a man, you can do with a woman? It's just like, no. And I think it probably goes to the whole idea of women believing that there are no good men out here. They feel like, oh, well, all the good men are either taking or they gay or they're all this and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But in real actuality, there are good men out there. I just think they don't fit the societal standards of what you deem to be a man. And when we look at that, according to what I see, especially with our generation, when we think of black men, we think of, like Destiny Child said in one of their songs, they're looking for a soldier. If you ain't street, gonna be checking for me. If you ain't hood, I ain't with it. You got to be that whole type of thing. But then at the same time, you know exactly what these street hood niggas bring to the equation. And you think that because, oh, when my vagina is so good, my shit do backflips on the dick, all that type of stuff is going to keep him. And it's like, no, his objective is not trying to turn you into a wife. He's probably going to make you a baby mother. And he'll probably say, oh, well, you my main one instead of you being the only one. So that's why I feel like there's that tension there. But of course, I think this right here is to open up the conversation deeper and for women to probably look at themselves and say, what is the real problem? Now, I'm not a woman, so I really can't speak on what women feel. I can only give you my opinion in reference to me being a gay man and having dealt with women in reference to my sexuality. So that's just kind of how I feel about it. Do I feel like there's some sort of tension? Yes, I do. So.
Got it. So, there is an issue and a conversation that needs to be had between the LGBT community and women. And I wouldn't even say not so much as between the LGBT community and women. I feel like there's a conversation that women need to have amongst themselves about some things that have been going on with their reality that really has nothing to do with the LGBT community, but these type of dramas kind of always give us an opportunity collectively to sit down and actually start dealing with the nuances of issues that affect both communities or all parties involved. So I don't believe there is real beef between the LGBT community and women.
Okay.
I think the women who are siding with Kaya and the women who are siding with Michelle Brown, who are saying that, we are real women, these trans women need to humble themselves, we are real women without the weaves, we are real women without the makeup, we don't have to do all of that because we're biological women. You trans individuals have to commit to that and have to A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. I think the women who are siding with Kaya and who are siding with Michelle Brown are women who have struggled for a long time with not being valued in terms of their beauty in this country. They're women who feel like the weave wearing, luxurious, I guess, vixens always tend to get acknowledged as beautiful and gorgeous. And so there's this percentage of black women who are not into the glamour. They're not into the weaves. They're not into the makeup. And they are equally beautiful as those who wear and commit to that aesthetic. And this insecurity gets projected onto the pretty girls and the so-called pretty girls in the community, and they get projected on the trans women, because obviously trans women are going to put more into feminizing themselves because their biology is male. So they have to combat their biology by committing to the female aesthetic, in every which way that they can. And that's understandable, but I feel like women aren't having a conversation about their own personal insecurities. And I would like for women to use the drama going on between the trans community, the gay community, and women's community as a way to come to the women's table and say, hold up, we are now at the table because of this drama, but now the focus needs to be about the shit that we're dealing with as women, because as you hinted to earlier on in the conversation, there's also this belief that there's a shortage of good black men in the world. And so you also have women who are frustrated that black men are leaving them for white women. Black men are wanting to achieve being with women who are exotic or non-black. And then you have women also having to watch black men wanting to be with each other. And so black women are feeling abandoned totally in all of this. And
but see, I think that kind of goes back to, once again, when they look at these men that also follow into these kind of standards of beauty or what a man should look like as well. You get what I'm saying? But like I said, to sit here and say there's a shortage, there's not. What you're looking at on the outside, and I understand that attraction does play a role. Trust me, I get it. I understand. You're going to be with someone that you're attracted to. But if they don't fit the complete aesthetic of what you believe or what society has deemed to be a man, especially in the black community, then it's like you're not checking for it. You have men out there who are doctors, who are lawyers, who wear suits, all this stuff. But if they don't fit this hard type of demeanor, then it's like, I don't want you at all. And I think that's what he placed on people, especially, let's for example, young black men growing up. And I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but I'm kind of trying to find a way to tie this in.
Talk, brother, talk.
You have young black men who are being raised to be callous, who are raised to have a hardened heart, who are raised to be emotionalists, who are being told that you can't cry, you can't speak your emotions, you can't say how you're feeling because that is deemed as being weak. So then when these men grow up, they are not emotionally available, so that when they end up being with a woman in a heterosexual situation, they are not able to speak their emotions properly to a woman. And then I feel like, therefore, they say, oh, well, I feel like this is the best. I have to settle for this, when you really don't have to settle for it. So I think there are so many different roots to this situation. Just like a lot of stuff we talk about, there's always many different roots and stuff to deal with. Of course,
it's complex.
It's very, very, very complex. And to talk about all of it would be like a whole video series within itself. Yeah. But that's how I feel about it. That's all I want to say. I ain't mean to cut you off, but go ahead.
Well, thank you for cutting me off and then giving it back to my motherfucking thought.
Oh, Lord, but you in the spirit realm, so it'll come back to you. You got the Holy Spirit all over you, so go ahead.
Yeah, so we're having an issue that's kind of being misguided. So I feel like, now we have an opportunity to have a bigger conversation. Black women have an opportunity to have a larger conversation and So let's speak to the women who are suffering through this thing, who don't like members of the LGBT community. Niggas shouldn't be gay. Niggas shouldn't want to be with men, and niggas shouldn't want to be women. Period. These are those women. So for the women who believe that there's a shortage on black men, as my brother just said, that really is just a myth. There are just as many good black men as there are problematic ass black men. The issue is that, and this goes for men and women, they both try to have their cake and eat it too. You want a good, you want a guy with a good heart,
but you want the callous exterior, though. Is that kind of where you're going?
I looked at this comment section and it froze me. Yes, y'all want.
You want a man. You want a man with a good heart, but you want him to have this callous exterior. So it's kind of like you want to change. You want to change them.
I'm not even sure that women really want a man with a good heart.
Because I'll tell you. Wait. I'll tell you why.
If I have to speak from my experience with women have this taste for bad boys. I don't know why. I don't know why the thug is attractive. I don't
That's
know.
also in the gay shit too, but
is attractive. I definitely understand women being attracted to men who exude leadership.
Right.
Because leadership is a symbol of strength, of intelligence, of tenacity. I think those are beautiful qualities in both men and women. But I also feel like women, you guys also sip the Kool-Aid of this hyper-masculine bullshit that goes on. And so, you know, a brother can approach you in a suit and a tie, you know, and be respectful, and that be like sexy to you. You know, he has to pull up in this. He has to pull up as T.I., and he has to have a certain type of masculinity
and demeanor. Yep.
In order for you guys to accept him as a real man. White women don't go through this primarily because white people don't have a strong concept of hypermasculinity within their community. So you have white men who have long hair, white men who do not have to parade around as alpha males. They can just be people and be human. And white women have an opportunity to appreciate a white man based upon what he brings to the table, based upon his work ethic, based upon his sincerity. And you're right, you took it out my mouth, Steven, and people are drawn to the thug guy as opposed to the 9-to-5 businessman.
Exactly.
Yes, and so black women, you guys are the ones who have to like dismantle this, because as long as this is the system, then fuckboys are the ones you guys are going to be empowering. Fuckboys are going to be the ones who you guys are attracting.
Exactly.
Fuckboys are going to be the ones who are going to end up as your baby daddy. Fuckboys are going to be the ones who are going to end up, you know, on at the top tier, at the front of the line to this thing. So just like in the gay community, there's this idea about promiscuity, you know, that we whore around, we prioritize sex over so many other things. Okay, fine, cool. If gay men want to change the narrative and want to start attracting quality, we within the community have to stop giving attention to the thirst trapping niggas.
Exactly.
We have to stop being so quick to give attention and acknowledgement to the niggas who shirtless, the niggas who in their drawers, the niggas who just want to fuck. We have to stop being so lustful if we're saying we want something deeper than lust. Then that means we have to stop allowing lust to be the predominant consciousness in which we're operating in, because setting our consciousness aside allows us to make different choices. It gives us a different sense of priority. So the same thing with the women's community. Like, we can't have this cake and eat it too. We can't say, oh, we can't support patriarchy and support hypermasculinity, but at the same time clown, demean, and depreciate men who are empathetic, men who are sensitive, men who are in touch with their feelings. We can't call them niggas punks, and we can't look at soft, or he's not man enough for me. Like, there's got to be some give and take in this thing. Y'all
But
gonna have to find a motherfucking balance between the two.
but that kind of goes back to what you just said as far as dismantling hyper-masculinity. And I think in reference to the whole black thing, I just feel like once again we're just now getting back to Africa. You know, we were taken from a place and given something foreign, and I think now we are breaking down those barriers to finally go back to Mother Africa. And I think what's happening is because all this stuff has been so ingrained from us from centuries down, kind of going back to like when we was talking on the phone, we were saying how we look at our grandparents. Our grandparents were the ones, especially here in Detroit, when the whole Ford Motor Company thing was happening and they had all these plants. They would go to the plant, they'll work these long ass shifts, and when they get home, they expect dinner better be on the table. When I get out the shower, you better be in the bedroom, face down, ass up, because that's the way I like to fuck. And then after we get that done, then it's like, that's it. But there was no time for them to be able to have a conversation with their wife and ask her, okay, how was your day? How are you doing? So I think once again, us, and that's why I can appreciate black men, even black men who are not gay. There's black men who embrace their feminine side. Like, for example, one of my bros, like, he's like a brother to me. This nigga has more feminine energy than I do, and I'm the gay one. And he's straight. But he's so in touch with his feminine side. It's like, do not understand that you're gonna make a woman very happy as your husband one day, because my thing is, yes, women like that whole type of drive and that excitement, but at the same time, there still has to be a level of tenderness as well to be able to kind of make a situation well rounded. Once again, we have to dismantle that. And it goes back to like to a Facebook post I saw one time where this girl was like, she put up a post and said, oh, you know, this one guy, he always texting me. He always seeing if I'm okay. He bringing me stuff. I mean, damn,
Oh,
why you been cheat on me or something? Call me a bitch or something. I'm like, what is the fucking problem with y'all? What? There is an issue. There is something going on here. Like, can we acknowledge this stuff? Like, that's why once again these conversations are necessary, because like you said in previous videos before, we continue to acknowledge just the branches. We don't dig down to the root and figure out what the root issue is, and the root issue is going to hurt. The root issue is going to get us fired up. The root issue is going to bring all that emotion that we've kept bottled in. It's going to make it explode, but at the same time it needs to happen so that there can be a change. And until we as black people start talking about the issues within our community such as this and start finding a common ground or a commonality, we will continue to go down this downward cycle that we've been going these past few decades. But
yeah.
like I said before in the previous video we did, I feel like these past few years have been the year of exposure. This big ass thick veil that's been over our eyes is now finally being pulled apart. And don't you know, like how when you fall asleep and someone cuts the light on drastically and you're looking, you're blinking, you're trying to see, it kind of hurts for a second. But as you continue to blink and your eyes adjust, you begin to see what's going on in front of you. I think that's what's really happening. So we have to continue to challenge these narratives intellectually. Now, yeah, there might be some debates, there might be some heated discussion, but my thing is, let's try to organize this with love. If any, it's like the whole saying goes, be the change that you wish to seek in this world. Be that change. So I feel like until we have conversations like this wholeheartedly, and especially on bigger platforms, fuck niggas gonna still walk around doing what they doing. Fuck boys gonna still put on this fuck ass music. Y'all gonna still be supplementing this stuff. And then my thing is, y'all not gonna be y'all not gonna be kings and queens. And then you can't get mad if your daughter or your children follow that whole situation, and now all of a sudden she becomes a baby mother instead of being a fucking wife, or he's being a baby father instead of being a husband. And this whole ideology as far as what a man is, to me, a man has nothing to do with a sexual. Let me say, okay, male is the biological. Man to me is an individual who takes care of his responsibilities, who's going to own up to his responsibility, own up to his mess. He's going to provide for his family any way he can. And to be honest, it's a lot of gay men out here who are more men than a lot of these fuck niggas out here. I'm just saying. But back to what you were saying, I mean, I just had to get that out.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, you hit it just on the nail. And Michelle says, "Hey, handsome, I like your hair." Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Welcome
She's
to the
talking to
stream.
you because I know she ain't talking to me.
Yeah,
I know, bitch. I
Kendrick,
know.
the user said, "Hi, just making my presence known." Hey, Kendrick.
Hey, Kendrick, what's going
Happy
on?
you decided to step out of your shy bubble and actually step into the conversation. I'm so proud of you. You know, I got on your ass about that later. Well, before. So what you were saying about damn, I kind of lost my train of thought. What were you saying before? See, I hate doing live because I'm gonna have to post this shit as it is, and people gonna have to see me like gather my thoughts again.
That
So
shows the realness. That shows the rawness of the situation. You can't be perfect and posh all the
oh,
time.
I
That's the
got
problem.
it. I got
Go
it. I
ahead.
got it. Manhood and womanhood, absolutely. Like male and female are biology.
Mm-hmm.
Womanhood and manhood, like what we define as woman, what we define as man, beyond biology, are all social constructs.
Exactly.
And so we
Exactly.
have to destroy those ideas that make it problematic for women to evolve and that make it problematic for men to evolve because essentially beyond biology there's no such thing as man or woman. What we make of what it means to be a woman or what we make of what it means to be a man is completely personal. It's completely subjective. That's why you have men all over this world who operate very differently. You have black men who dap each other up, but you have European men who greet each other by kissing each other on the cheek. They
Mm-hmm.
are more affectionate. Even you see this within Italian families where the men
Mm-hmm.
are very
Mm-hmm.
affectionate toward each other. They're very kind and very physical in their love language and love expression to each other. And so you see cultures create different narratives around what it means to be men, and that is different from culture to culture to culture. But I feel like the culture that definitely suffers the most in terms of being destroyed, afflicted, and sabotaged and limited by their narrative of masculinity is the black community. And
Exactly.
I also can understand patriarchy. I can understand not patriarchy, but I can understand toxic masculinity because I think at one point in time toxic masculinity had to be employed in order for black men to preserve their families. When you think about
Mm-hmm.
the Jim Crow era, when you think
Right.
about slavery, when you think about how rough and tough society was, when you're thinking about how marginalized black people used to be, black men had to really be the warrior class when
Right.
it came
Right. Right.
to the black community. They had to be the alpha males. They had to protect the women. They had to go out into the world and provide for their families. The issue is that we've evolved into a much more sophisticated culture, and we don't realize now we can mourn.
And not even that.
We can hold on, bitch. Don't
Okay.
interrupt me, you bitch.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We don't understand that we have moved into a more sophisticated culture that actually allows us to breathe now. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be so defensive. Men don't have to be so guarded. And all of us are going to have to do our part in helping black heterosexual men to give themselves permission to be vulnerable and to be sensitive and to be compassionate and to be
Right.
empathetic. We can't call men gay because they're empathetic and caring. We can't call black men punks and sissies because they would rather walk away rather than fight a nigga and bust his shit open.
Right.
We can't do that. We can't do that. So we're gonna have to truly like deconstruct this toxic masculine shit because black men becoming healthier and becoming more in tune and in touch not only is going to benefit them, it's going to change the way they show up as fathers, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
change the way they show up as husbands, it's going to change the way they show up for black women, it's going to change the way they see. Bitch, now I'm feeling my help. The Holy Spirit has been evoked, bitch. I feel the power present now. It's going to
Oh
change
shit.
the way black men show up. Now, you wanted to interrupt me earlier to say something. What
But
was
I was
that?
going back to what you're saying as far as, and I feel like really honestly, it's the whole healing aspect. Because you're right, they had to do that to survive. They had to because conditions and everything was so extreme. It was about life or death. It was that motherfucking Harry Tubman, bitch, get your ass in line, or I'm gonna shoot your ass. What's it gonna be? But like you said, now we got to a point to, like you said, we're in a more modern society, and it's time for us to heal from that. That's why I say it's important for us to get back to Africa. And that's why, unfortunately, a lot of other cultures are more, in a sense, ahead of us than we are. We're always the ones in the back. We're always the ones that's last. And it's like we complain about it. But at the end of the day, those individuals work within their own to make things happen, to make change. When you think of Islamic people, they are so closely knit. They call each other brother and sister. They're always helping each other out. When you think of white people, they always stick together. When you think of all these other cultures, they accept us. We are the ones that pull each other down. We are the ones that destroy each other. We are the ones that are jealous of another person's growth, as opposed of trying to uplift them and extend your hand to help them up so that we all can win. We complain about the oppressors, but we're not doing anything to change the level or change the playing field or level the playing field so that we can go ahead and get a start. But what happens is that we want to complain about it, and without conversation, it'll continue in that cycle. So you're right. Healing is very imperative to the involvement of us. And another thing too, dealing with gay men, especially gay men on the down low. A lot of gay men end up being on the down low because they don't want to hear what women have to say, because they're afraid of what women are going to say as far as, oh, well, you gay, oh, you a dick in the booty ass nigga, I knew you was a fat, all that type of stuff. So that's why you have niggas now who hit you up on Jacked or Grinder, and then all of a sudden they got to face this profile, but then they'll send you a picture after they figure out you cool. Like you said, we have to destroy these narratives and let these individuals be who they are. Because when you let individuals be who they are and they're truthful and honest, guess what? You don't have to deal with the fuck shit. You don't have to deal with a nigga that's on a DL. You don't have to deal with a nigga that it doesn't know what he wants to do. If you let them be honest, and then you let the honest men come to you. Because the honest men are going to come to you. The real men are going to come to you. Those that treasure you and value you, whether your ass got straight, silky smooth hair, or whether your shit is kinked the fuck up, they're going to love you for who you are. But like you said, it kind of goes back to the beauty standards as well. Like, for example, I remember watching one of T.S. Madison's videos, and like me, I was rocking with Madison back in the day when she was doing BigDickBitch.com. Back in the day when she was doing her adult film work. And she had these segments called Real Talk segments. And I remember it was one, and they were having a conversation about trans women and not real, but trans women and biological cisgender women. And there was a cisgender woman there, and she was like, I don't get mad when trans women try to emulate after us or whatever. She said, I've even been mistaken as a trans woman. And she was like, and I think that's some beautiful shit, because what you got, you paid for. You had to enhance that. I already naturally had that. So she's comfortable with who she is. But I think, once again, when it's the fine ass niggas that they want ain't checking for them, but they checking for trans women, then it's a fact of, what that bitch got on me that I don't have, because I'm the quote unquote, I'm the real thing. And it's like, maybe he just into trans women. Not every nigga is gonna be into trans women. Like every motherfucking dude is not gonna be into a real. I mean, it's so complex. It's so damn complex. It really fucking is. Like, oh my Lord, Jesus. And see, if we had conversations like this in the past, we wouldn't have to be working as hard, working overtime to get this shit done.
Well, just going back to the original thought, there is no fucking real war between women and the gays. The LGBT community and the women's community are fine. We were best friends before the bullshit popped off. We will be best friends after both of these toxic heifers go back under and go back into the caves and alleys of the community. But I think that the women who are participating in the division are the ones who also participate in patriarchy. They support patriarchy. These are the women who believe that a woman probably should stay in her place, and a man should be front and center. That a woman should be submissive. That a man should lead, and that a woman should be considered second to a man. Like, these are the toxic females that make it bad for women to progress and for have those breakthroughs socially, to have those breakthroughs spiritually, because there are women who want to hold on to these very conservative traditional ideas of man and fucking woman. I just feel like the community of women who are like trying to carry this narrative that there is a issue are just like the percentage of women who are just insecure in general.
Right.
These are the women who just are conservative, they're radical, they're fundamentalists, they're insecure. These are women who don't feel pretty. These are women who don't feel beautiful. These are like all those women that have had issues with all the changes that have happened in society are the ones who are jumping on the bandwagon because Kaya and Michelle Clown, they are symbols of this archaic, barbaric ass era of women, and there are women who want to stay in that pocket, who just don't want to fucking grow, and it just is what the fuck it is. Like, but I feel like this is a deeper conversation for women. Like, gay men don't have an issue with women. Never have, never will. But it does give women the opportunity to sit down and say, hey, let's talk about our shit. Let's talk about what's going on with black men. Let's talk about what's going on with black women. Because this shit ain't got nothing to do with the trans. This shit ain't got nothing to do with the gay boys. This shit has to do with whatever reality we are creating for ourselves that we don't like. We are the only ones who can take full responsibility for that, and actually unpack that shit and decide where we're going wrong. Because if we want successful black men in our lives, we have to consider what ideas, what state of consciousness am I operating in that is permitting me to have what I know God has for me as it pertains to a quality, healthy relationship to black men. Because there are plenty of black men out here looking for a quality black woman, and interestingly enough, those black men are saying the same thing. They don't believe that good black women exist anymore. They think that all black women are mad-ass black women. They think they're hard to please. They think that women just want a man to take care of them. And so there's a lot of miscommunication going on between that fucking community. And I feel like the gay community gets thrown in the middle as the problem instead of heterosexuals coming to the table and having conversations about their dynamics toward one another. Just like in the hotel community, or the Tommy Sotomayers, or the Cadillac Kimberlys of the world, who have like tried to dissect dynamic between men and women and then make the LGBT community the problem. Oh, y'all are the ones destroying the black community. You are the ones who are
you about to open up a can of worms.
You guys are misrepresenting black men, and it's like, this ain't got nothing to do with us. Your pants hanging halfway off your ass maybe is you sabotaging black men. You wanting a woman to take care of your ass while you sit at home all day and cheat on her with her sister or her best friend maybe is what's destroying the black community. You rather selling dope to your fellow black brothers and black sisters rather than getting an honest fucking job, making an honest living, maybe is what's destroying the motherfucking black community. You wanted to have a bunch of illegitimate ass children with these women and not take motherfucking responsibility for your babies. Maybe is why the black community is fucking suffering.
Y'all niggas killing each other over dumb shit.
Motherfuckers try to act like the gay community is the one that is sabotaging. Bitch, we're not selling drugs to the community. We're not out here thugging and raping and slaughtering and using and exploiting black fucking women. When you look at these fucking rappers and how they have every type of Brazilian bitch in the video, every type of a Asian bitch in the video, where is the black woman?
Right.
Where is Queen Chocolate? And yet gay people are destroying the black community.
And then yet you want to sit here and call black women bitches, hoes, sluts, all this shit. But then it's funny. Hold
on. I'm guilty of bitch, hoe, slut. But what I can say, I use that. I use some terms loosely. You, my friend, you a bitch. You a hoe.
Yeah, but
you a slut.
But listen. But once again, it goes back to the context of it.
Right.
Though, because I think when gay men say bitch and stuff, it's like a term of endearment. Just like women say bitch, whatever. But when it's a nigga calling a person a bitch and like, oh, you slut ass, you hoe ass bitch, you funky pussy ass, all that type of stuff, it's like, okay, but then don't get mad when you have a daughter and a nigga call your daughter the same thing you call on everybody else. And going back to what you're saying, we as gay people, we just now actually starting to get some traction in society as far as on a big scale. Bitch, we've always been in the background. We're just now trouble. And on top of that, if you really want to talk the real shit, it's really white gays that's really getting it out here. The black gays still got it hard. We still got shit that we're struggling with. Yeah. We have a very few sprinkled throughout, but as far as that, you see, bitch, Ellen, has that shit. You don't see no motherfucking black gay. You don't see Wanda Sykes. Well, we Wanda, but she got a white girlfriend, but that's okay. But you don't see Wanda Sykes have her own shit, her own damn prime time show. So we still dealing with stuff. So my thing is, once again, you cannot sit here and try to place that on us. Bitch, we're not doing anything to y'all. Y'all the ones that's causing the problems. Like everything that you mentioned. And on top of that, like I said, y'all niggas killing each other. Y'all niggas shooting each other over dumb shit. I done watched a video a few months ago talking about, oh, the rappers we lost in 2017. That video was 30 minutes long. I'm like, you know how many niggas was on there? And they died over some dumb shit. Motherfuckers getting shot, walking outside restaurants and shit. It's like, hello? So my thing is, that's why I say black people. I know we've been through some shit. We're still dealing with the after effects of shit. But to be honest, what we are going through right now is in no comparison to what our ancestors, to what slaves went through, to what the people in the civil rights movement went through. We have it a lot easier. We shouldn't be complaining this goddamn hard. We should be trying to figure out what's going on with us first, because it starts with us. If you're waiting for the white man, the racist white man, to admit his wrongs, if you're waiting for all this shit, you're going to be waiting until white Jesus come back. So my thing is this: you need to figure out what's going on with yourself first and then make that change. That's why I'm grateful for the bitches that tried Kimberell, that tried Michelle Brown, that tried Kaya, that tried Cadillac Kimberly, that tried all the people who was putting their foot on their damn neck and telling them hoes, look, y'all not going to do this shit to us no more. Because we're educated, we read up on ourselves, and we're standing in our truth. And we're going to challenge y'all hoes. That's why I'm happy for that. So yes, there's going to be a little bit of some battles. There might be a few wars or whatever. But in order for peace to ensue, those things have to happen. So I know that we're doing our part. I know there's other people that's doing their part, but all collectively, if we just do our part collectively, trust me, this whole bullshit that we've gone through, that we've dealt with, the after effects, the side effects of slavery and all this stuff, trust me, all that stuff will go away. But it starts with us acknowledging ourselves first.
Yeah. But that's the only way that the slave mentality is going to be eradicated, and all of the tools we used in order to combat having oppressors and having outward enemies, like, is going to be us taking the time to unpack all of this shit, because we're still not really doing that. Like, there's a small percentage of black people who are doing that work, who are trying to get other black people to see it that way. But most of the black community is still suffering from cognitive dissonance. And so there's still a major disconnection in terms of perception, perspective, and a willingness to just acknowledge, like, the context of why certain things was, like, even understanding the context for homophobia was it stems from slavery. It stems from white slave owners humiliating black male slaves in front of their women and in front of their children and in front of their peers by anally raping them and sodomizing them.
Exactly.
And so the black community took a strong stance. The black church took a strong stance against homosexuality due to the demonstration they saw of homosexuality when they entered into this country. Once again, now that we've evolved, culture has grown. Sexuality is consenting. You can't continue to marginalize the same gender loving community because these are consenting, mutual consenting individuals who are engaging in permissible activity between one another. The same thing with hyper-masculinity. Yes, it was necessary at one point in time. Black men had to be the warrior class because there was enemies who were being as aggressive as they could be toward black people. So black people had to boss up. Men had to be militant. Black men had to be militant in order to protect themselves emotionally from what was going on within society, and to, once again, stand guard for their women, stand guard for their children. But once again, society has evolved enough for us to now start losing sight of some of those defenses so that women can actually be human and be treated as human, and men can be allowed to be human and be treated as such.
Right.
But that's going to come through us thinking that this is about homosexuality and this is about there not being no good black men, there not being no good black women. There are good black women in this world. There are good black men in this motherfucking world. And as soon as we get rid of the excuses, this is why we call them trade. Joseph Edmonds said that's why we call them trade. So what do you mean by that, Joseph
Yeah,
Edmonds?
elaborate
That's
more on
why we
that.
call them trade. Trade is a whole nother goddamn doctrine.
I don't
That's a
fuck with
whole
trade
fucking
anyway because
doctrine. So
I'm not
we
into masculine energy, but that's all right. Go
okay,
ahead.
so we gonna have to rename this motherfucking video something else because we really it's kind of like bled out from the Kaya Maddie anti-alien war between gays and black women.
I think that was kind of used as the starting point to kind of just create the conversation.
To create the conversation
because of what Michelle Badge Brown and Kaya said.
Right.
As far as that, you know what I'm saying? So I was gonna take it a different kind of way because I was gonna start getting the motherfuckers together as far as the women that use gays as pawns. But I figured this will be a little bit more intellectual, more deeper instead of addressing the roots at all. I mean the branches and all that type of stuff. But yeah, it's absolutely true. Every conversation that I think we've had thus far, especially going back to the one we did about cultural appropriation and all that type of stuff, when hoes don't really know what the definition of appropriation is, but that's okay too.
So let's just address the actual allegations as well against Madison. Like, obviously, when Madison was calling AT-alien fishy and saying she smelled like fish, she clearly was talking about a specific individual. She's not talking about women as a whole. She's not saying that all women smell like fish. She's literally having a verbal sparring match with another individual who is hurling all type of
insults
toward her. So anybody who can't understand that this is a sparring match between two people and it's not about women, I don't know what to say to you. These are just people who just want to be mad and they just want to have a reason to be mad. And it's because secretly there are just some women who are homophobic and they've been ready to be homophobic. They have felt pushed and pressured to accept something that they don't want to accept. They don't want to, they felt pressured to accept trans. They felt pressured to accept gay people. They weren't ready for this and they've kind of went along to get along, but now that the opportunity to choose sides again is there, it's like, oh yeah, bitch, I'm with the women. I never wanted this gay shit. I never wanted to support these people. I never wanted to allow these people. I never wanted visibility for these people. So I feel like these are just the women who are siding. And the other women are just too grown. They're too intelligent to sip the Kool-Aid of the hate and the homophobia. And I just take my fucking hat off to black women because black women have really done the motherfucking thing in terms of holding down gay men, especially holding down gay men, because I know that the trans community is still, they're just now garnering the support that they need. But I can say for gay men, black women, you motherfuckers have been our heroes. You guys have loved on us, accepted us, created a space for us in your lives, despite niggas wanting to throw us away, niggas wanting to kill us, jump us, call us every type of faggot, sissy, punk in the book. You motherfuckers have allowed us to be in y'all homes. You motherfuckers have brought us around y'all families. Y'all motherfuckers have also helped to fight the battle against all the homophobia that we have accepted. So I'm not one of those gay men who is really about to be convinced that black women have an issue with gays and or that gays have an issue with black women. It is a tension that's not real. And the tension that is there is not because of sexuality. It's because of black women's feelings toward black men in general. It's because of black women's issues with the beauty standards that have been forced upon them by living in a white patriarch where black women feel pressure to assimilate to European standards. So when a trans woman is having her hair slayed, she's contoured down, I can understand why this provokes feelings within black women about, am I pretty enough? Am I feminine enough? I can understand that because you're having a confliction about your own femininity and your own beauty as it relates to the outward external world. But we have to be careful having our own issues because oftentimes we project the way that we feel and what we struggle with onto other people. So let's say that I'm somebody who struggles with the way that I look. I'm somebody who doesn't feel attractive. And I'm talking to you and I think you're just the dopest thing ever. I can acknowledge that you are a handsome brother. But inside of me also, there could be a love-hate relationship I develop towards you because I think you're attractive, but when I acknowledge you're attractive, it makes me think about how unattractive I feel and how unattractive I think I am. So then I begin to mistreat you,
Right.
because you represent a luxury that I don't have in my own life. I don't get to be called handsome. I don't get to be acknowledged as good looking. And I think this is low key happen and it's happening on both ends too. Some trans women are jealous of biological women because biological women have the biology on their side. There are trans women who are going to require a lot of surgeries in order to look like a biological woman. And so there are some bitter trans women out there who do have a hate. They do have a bitterness and a resentfulness towards cisgender women. And there are cisgender women who are jealous that trans women really show the fuck up when it comes to femininity. They will invest in really looking like the beauty queen, and that really provokes and it activates those insecurities that have been lying dormant within women. And so we just gotta continue to address our own issues. If I'm insecure about myself, that has to be between me and myself.
Exactly.
Regardless of what I feel about you, I can't make that about you. I can't make my insecurities about you. I gotta deal with that shit.
Right.
Whether it's men, whether it's women, whether it's the gays or the straights, all of us who got issues that we're projecting onto one another, it's not each other's responsibility to undo that shit. If you are a woman and you love your fro and you love your bare face and you love your natural beauty, do not shade the woman who loves makeup and loves her fucking bundles. If you are really confident and comfortable, you don't have to take anything away from that woman to stand in your womanness.
Exactly.
The same thing for niggas. Let's address our own issues. Say that. Yes, Joseph. Joseph also said how you was talking masculinity, and at one point men wanted to super masculinity. I agree. Absolutely. So it's just about, that's why in my last live that you and I did about cultural appropriation, for me, it was about redirecting the conversation and making it about black people showing up for black people. Because we got to get there first before we can even fully recognize our enemies and even know how to dismantle and fight that outward war. But if we got war going on all up in between us, like when your household is already dysfunctional, when the brothers and the sisters and the parents in the household already don't trust each other, it's very easy for an outsider to come in and use everyone against one another because your foundation on the inside is already cracked.
Exactly.
So we have to start dealing with some in-home shit. We got to cure up this shit between each other. We've got to intelligently discern what is my personal issue and what you are doing that's problematic for my growth and my evolution as a person. There is a balance. There are provokers. There are people who create problems for others, and then there are people who create those problems for themselves, within themselves, and make that about some imaginary enemy on the outside that don't fucking exist. So calling each other to the stand, continuing to what am I looking for? Continuing to pursue accountability, self-healing, and just supporting each other, like, and in all of our growth, because we're all on different paths. We're all evolving into whatever we're evolving into, and we don't have to get in each other's way. And just be mindful of the Michelle clowns, and be mindful of the Kias in the world who are going to play off of the weaknesses and the insecurities within both communities and do what they're doing, which is pinning us together, because there are weaknesses within the foundation. And so we got to hold on, and we got to be intelligent, and we got to not buy the bullshit. And my phone is fucking dying. So do you have anything left to motherfucking say?
No, you said it all. You said it all, Majestic One. You said it all, but you're right. At the end of the day, it started with us.
I don't want to do live no more.
Why?
Live is too much.
No, it's not. That's why I think live is amazing, because it gives you a chance to interact with people real time. It's different from doing YouTube videos where you can cut everything out, make everything look good and polished and nice. This the real raw shit This the breeded raw shit that everybody want to see. Bitch, this is what it is. Like, you know, and I think you're good for it. You're good for it, obviously. So
I prefer scripted TV, not reality TV.
Black Jesus, you got to do your damn job. The Black queer Jesus, you got to do your job now.
Look, I got on my Power Ranger shit.
Zordon.
Ow. So, any lasting words to this pseudo manufactured drama that motherfuckers are trying to create between both communities? Anything you want to say?
All I have to say is this: the karmatic boomerang that you throw out in the universe is going to eventually come back and hit yourself and hit your ass in the fucking head. That's what it's going to do. All this shit is being exposed. That's the thing. When your ass lie, you have to realize that the truth is going to come out eventually. So at the end of the day, truth always wins. It will always prevail. And it always rain down on you, hoes. So that's it. That's all I got to say.
So let me ask you this question before we go, because, you know, people already know how I feel, because I done put out a bunch of different shit on my channel. I think you are good. Continue to grow. Thank you, Rosa. We love you. Thank you for your support.
Yes, thank you.
So, do you feel like insults should go both ways? Like, do you think that there should be things that are off limit? Like, do you think that there are things we shouldn't say about each other even when we're angry and take issue with each other?
Well, I think that takes really good control on your part, because if a person keep busting shots at you over and over, and you're trying your best to say, hey, look, leave me alone. I ain't with the bullshit back. Hey, chill. But you keep doing it over and over again. Eventually, I'm going to pop back at you. I'm going to bust shots back at you. So it's like, if you don't want that to happen, keep your mouth shut, because this particular woman, she shouldn't. See, now I'm trying to choose my words wisely. From the facts that we know, if I was her and the facts that I knew was being spread across Atlanta along with my scent, I would shut the complete fuck up. That's just me. That's just me. But of course, you will have people, sometimes they don't know any better. Sometimes, in order for them to learn, you gotta get them. You gotta get them. Some people, unfortunately, have to learn the hard way.
No.
And trying to gaze is the last thing you want to do.
Lord mercy.
Just saying.
So on that fucking note, we gotta motherfucking go. So keep the peace, y'all. Keep the peace. Like, don't let motherfuckers come into our home and create issues that don't motherfucking exist. Like, we all good, women good, the gay is good. Let's just continue to support each other. There are toxic people in both communities, so let's just be aware of those who are toxic in the women community and those who are toxic in the gay community. But let's not make that about issues for the collective.
Right.
The collective relationship is intact between the LGBT community and the women's community. Daryl Richard II said, "Why do always have to take the high road?"
So you could jump off a cliff and elbow drop on them bitch. I'm just playing.
So Daryl, like, when you said, "Why do whoever have to take the high road," like, who are you saying always have to take that high road?
I think what he's saying is, like, why of course he's gonna give us answer, but I'm thinking as far as, you know, why is it that we have to always be the ones to always keep our mouth shut sometimes when somebody's busting shots at us? That's why I felt. Go ahead.
I don't think we do. I think when you've been merciful and you've been compassionate and you've taken the high road initially, at first you turned the other cheek.
Yeah.
If a motherfucker keep beating ass,
come on now.
That's when you let their ass have it. So no, we don't have to keep taking the higher road. Why do we always have to take the higher road? But there is a science to taking the higher road too, because see, when you do take the higher road, you leave your enemies with nothing to say. The audience can't be divided about who's right and who's wrong when one person has continued to take the higher road. Somebody did make a good point. They said when Maddie did not address AT-Alien, all the focus was on AT-Alien being a thirsty bitch, on AT-Alien just wanting attention. But soon as Madison acknowledged AT-Alien and took those shots,
but she did some trifling ass shit though.
Hold on, and said what she said. It left the audience able to then abstract certain things Maddie said and then make it problematic for everybody. Oh, she talking about all women. Oh, she doing all this. And so we all have the choice. We can take the higher road or we cannot take the higher road. I personally am the believer of if somebody fucking with you, you get to decide how you want to deal with that. I can't decide for you that you should take the higher road, that you should be patient, that you should not care. If you feel like not letting the bitch have it today, don't let a bitch have it today. If you feel like giving that bitch the business, give that bitch all the business. I do not sympathize with bullies. So when bullies get what the fuck they have coming to them, baby, I'm the one who sit with my popcorn and enjoy the justice of it all. So I just feel like if you don't want no problems, if you don't want there to be no shit, then don't start no goddamn shit. Hello. But you know, a higher road is a choice, and some people are able to take the higher road, and gay people, we don't have to take the higher road. But I honestly feel like we don't take shit. If anything, our community is a community that doesn't tolerate a goddamn thing. We stand up for ourselves in every which a motherfucking way. So I feel like we do really well to let it be known that we are a force to be reckoned with. And I want Black people to galvanize together in such a way so that we can be respected for the same. But we're only going to be able to have that power by coming together, something that we have not been able to do since our freedom papers. We have not been able to come together since niggas have had the freedom to be individuals, and we have ran with individuality ever fucking since. And we're going to have to decide that there are some things that as Black people we got to put aside and we got to stand together on, or else they're going to be able to continue to divide us up because we don't have a foundation of togetherness to begin with. So it's nothing to place Black people here, there, and every which you goddamn way and scatter us. Who the fuck is harassing you in the background?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was trying to be inconspicuous. Go ahead.
But gays are always the ones wanting to come together as Black. But gays are always the ones wanting to come together as Black people. Yeah. But straight Black people don't. And this is where it's a learning curve for the straight community. This is where the straight community can actually learn from the LGBT community. I said this in the last video that LGBT people don't have no particular power. We not exceptional. The only thing we've done is be able to come together. Like, there's simply power in numbers. The Black community keeps wondering how these faggots came into power, how these punks came into power. Now you can't say nothing about them. You lose your job, you lose your sponsorship, you lose your anything if you say. And you know why? Gay people have been able to rule their spaces and their narratives. They've been able to come the fuck together. That is simply it. If Black people, if we want power, all we gotta do, learn how to stand as fucking one. That's literally it. They're like, it's literally that fucking simple. But something that simple, our community is gonna make that fucking
so complex. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's gonna go over their fucking heads. So I can't do anything but hope and pray for our people. But we definitely gotta go. My device is on 10%. I love you guys. Don't sip the Kool-Aid. Fuck Michelle Brown. Fuck Kia. Love the rest of y'all.
Right.
And I hope something in this motherfucking video like was wise, that you can take something away from, helped with this dumb shit that's going on, and if not,
and at the end of the day, in the words of The Rock, twisted the way I twisted it. Can you smell what Atlanta is cooking? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Doing that with you. Good night. Miss Hey Brandy. Facts. Yes, facts. I love you guys. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, Conscious Television. I'm going to leave that in the caption above. Bub to Love, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Where can the people find you?
Okay, of course, here, Facebook. I'm already tagged, so you can go ahead and get me there. Instagram, Bubs Love, BUBZZZLOVE. Same thing for Instagram. And YouTube is On the Ocean 007, ONTHEOCEAN 007, all one word, and you'll find me there.
Amen. So. Well, this was a great conversation.
Yeah, it was. It really was. It turned out better than what I thought it was going to be. But go ahead.
All right. Well, good one. We'll see you guys on the next live.
See ya.